I was right. The February poems from 2017 are a little weird, mostly in that they're very haphazard all over the place. And this one is number 2691, posted Monday, February the 20th, 2017. It's got an epigraph by Laura Moriarty. I have pictures of the empty room. The surplus was at gunpoint, mid-range, so I took stock in fear and adrenaline, wouldn't you? Half the reason is the $1,000 phone bill. Half yours, which you left me after paying for well over a year and giving me absolutely no indication that you'd stop doing so. Cold. That day you left and never spoke to me again. Still hasn't. Your ghosts keep raising their ugly heads. Only I know who they really are, right? Lately, just when I'm about to be okay, about to be on my feet again, about to wake up, as they say. Did you ever leave? I've watched movies aplenty about these things. Ghost stories vanish too, like the unlikely number of them that vanished into something much more terrifying than retrospect. Into nothing. Into performance. Into a game during which I was disqualified in its early stages. Only nobody told me, so I happily participated until it had been over for decades. It was a very long parenthetical, by the way. The 4 circles that made a square that appeared on a nearby garage door have sort of disappeared, and in their place is now a triangle, a misdirection of anger, angular tension. I remember those 4 squares, that particular picture, which is not the picture that I have here, but it just reminds me of my poor brother Gary, who passed away about a little over 10 years ago, maybe now. Wow. Because I took a photo of it. It was one of those, like, I call it a Venn diagram kind of thing, or what's the ones where you have subsets in the middle, and there's stuff in the middle that like everybody's kind of part of. That I was thinking of as the 4 of us siblings, and took a picture of those 4 circles on a garage, and that's all I'll say about that, really. The 4 circles that made a square that appeared on a nearby garage door have sort of disappeared, and in their place is now a triangle, a misdirection of anger, angular tension. Art meets reality. Boy, would love a massage. The show goes on, however, as it must, the show, generally encourage such drama, yes. Did you honestly think that I didn't know that I'm a drama queen? I added that part. Clutched it onto intense belief systems only to watch them dissipate like the Andromeda. The drama, the belief, these things happen, I know them. But do ghosts know current events or even care? Donald Duck is now the emperor of the World Federation. It turns out that the Federation were actually the bad guys all along. It's a world full of surprises, even for an old man who seemed to constantly catch them like falling chandeliers. The universe, the galaxy, whatever, bad guys. It's my existential crisis, my value judgments. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist, and this is not cinema. At least I don't recollect that it is, but I do remember the cinema. It was a place we went to escape. The reality of it all is Star Wars. Every night, slogging alongside the melee until morning, when I keep remembering to tell you this, only to find out that I've forgotten. You. This. Also, cash, the paper kind. That which we all relied upon, sometimes obsessively. Well, I'm not sure where this came from or why I'm even telling you, but for some reason it amuses me and reminds. Anyway, it isn't green anymore. I think I'll take that spark of pleasure ache, asking you to guess what color it is now. Or, well, turns out that the future was all mine after all. Who on earth would have been listening to that noise? Silence. How appropriate in a world that's mine, but yet one which I find no place to grab into. Perhaps it's perfect that you are not but spirit, and a spiritless not at that. Think for a moment. Notice how the spit and slither of spiritless spirit. Do things never work themselves out appropriately? If only you were not such a glorious and tricky vacuum of spirit. Black hole tricky, I'd say. And while it always breaks my heart, the month of October never looked quite as dashing as it does this year. Unlike the bully it, and certainly other times of year, has been in distances past. I mean, relative to the infamous 11 months, which, from widening distances, passed. At worst, only dourly come and go. What am I left with? Oh, substance. Which I actually apologize for bringing up, even to you. Yes, I still think of unpaid for I'm sorries and what can I do's. But you're spirit. I'm flesh. That is that. The meaninglessness of logic, of sense, and most certainly of karma. These days, we learn that even the lifeless, the immaterial, are tortured. A gas chamber for ephemera. All of it. Unlike even you. No magician as yet has brought any of it to life. So here we are at the butt end of a very cold November, a humiliating reprieve. What's left of the pretense of joy, of respite. But you must admit that we wore October well, material that is. I might venture to admit that it still looks good on me. Sorry, maybe that's bitter too. Looks can be deceiving anyway, right? Maybe I should be bitter more often, I'm thinking. Or maybe not. There are many days that, for some, are neither holidays nor birthdays. Favorite things. October. Ooh. Oh, I hope I got you again. It always makes me remember being bowled over with laughter, but I know that you are only here, and never here, simply to remind me that the joke is still on me. I know because I see only one of us bowled over.